Have you ever walked away from a conversation and felt like you left something behind? Something unsaid, or maybe something said too quickly? A sentence that slipped past your lips before your soul had time to approve it? That tension, that electric thread of regret, it's not your imagination. On July 18th, that tension became universal. Mercury begins its retrograde in Leo, and suddenly, communication is no longer casual. Every message, every word, every look carries hidden heat. A pause feels louder. A sigh feels sharper. Misunderstandings multiply in the gaps between intention and expression. One innocent phrase could unravel a peaceful moment and ignite a wildfire of confusion. This isn't just another Mercury retrograde. It's not one of those quiet, reflective backward spins where you misplace your keys and forget an appointment. This one has fire in its lungs. Leo is involved, and Leo doesn't retreat quietly. It surges. It roars. It demands to be understood, and when Mercury scrambles its signals, that demand becomes unpredictable. We're not just dealing with broken technology or missed texts. We're dealing with pride, with ego, with the need to be seen and validated. This is where your voice can betray you, and where your silence might save you. The emotional stakes are higher. This retrograde isn't random. It's deeply personal. So what exactly is Mercury retrograde? Astronomically, it's an illusion. Mercury appears to move backward in the sky from Earth's perspective. But energetically, it's anything but imaginary. It feels like your thoughts are swimming upstream, like your voice stumbles over your heart on its way out. Mercury rules communication, thoughts, travel, timing, and tech. When it retrogrades, those functions glitch. It's like trying to type with frozen fingers or speak with a mouth full of static. You know what you mean, but others don't. And worse, they think they do. That's where the real trouble begins. With Mercury turning retrograde in Leo, the sign of self-expression, leadership, and pride, the stakes aren't just mental, they're emotional. Leo is ruled by the sun, the center of our solar system and the metaphorical center of our identity. When Mercury retreats through this realm, it doesn't just confuse what you say. It questions who you are when you say it. This is where we start speaking from wounds instead of wisdom. Where passion can cross the line into performance. Where vulnerability can be mistaken for weakness or weaponized in the heat of the moment. Leo energy is theatrical, powerful, heartfelt. But when misdirected, it burns instead of warm. July 18th is when Mercury officially stations retrograde. Station days are more than just calendar markers, they're pressure valves. When a planet prepares to shift direction, its energy concentrates, intensifies. It's like a stillness before an earthquake. Things feel heavy, dense, and sharp. You might notice small miscommunications suddenly feel catastrophic. A glance, a delay, a phrase taken the wrong way could ignite a full-blown confrontation. Technology might glitch right when you need clarity the most. And emotionally, everything feels amplified, especially pride, especially anger. Leo doesn't just want to be heard, it wants to be felt. It speaks from the chest, from the gut, from the solar plexus. So when Mercury moves backward here, it's not just your voice being reviewed. It's your motives. Are you saying things to connect or to control? To empower or to dominate? That's the tension of this retrograde. You may find yourself tempted to over-explain, to defend, to lecture. But true power now doesn't lie in volume. It lies in intention. What you mean will matter more than what you say. And how you listen may be the most radical act of communication you perform. Let's talk about relationships. Whether romantic, platonic, or professional, this retrograde sends shockwaves through connection. An offhand remark might be taken as an insult. A text with no emoji might read cold. A delay in responding might feel like rejection. Leo energy is sensitive to rejection, even imagined rejection. The thing is, most of us don't realize we're performing until someone doesn't clap. Mercury retrograde in Leo shines a light on the parts of ourselves that crave approval, that need to be right, that struggle to listen without rehearsing our rebuttal. This isn't an attack on your voice. It's a mirror, asking, why do you need to be heard right now? The biggest danger here is not silence, it's reactivity. speaking without centering yourself first, firing off texts in anger, letting sarcasm slip in when softness would have served better. In Leo, drama is addictive, but under this retrograde, drama becomes combustible. If you find yourself tempted to post a bold call-out, declare ultimatums, or unload your emotions in a comment thread, pause. Not forever. Just long enough to ask, is this expression, or is this eruption? Leo wants an expression, yes. But Mercury wants clarity. This retrograde asks for both. So what do you do when the air is thick with tension and your thoughts feel like firecrackers waiting for a spark? You slow down. Not out of fear, but out of wisdom. You take a breath and realize, not every message is meant to be delivered right now. Some truths ripen in silence. In this Mercury retrograde, especially under Leo's dramatic skies, your greatest power lies in the pause. That sacred breath between reaction and response, that's your gold. That's where you reclaim your intention, ground your energy, and stop yourself from adding fuel to a fire you'll later wish you never lit. One of the most underused tools right now is journaling. Yes, writing. Not for others to read. Not for posting or publishing. Just for you. When your mind feels like a battleground and your heart keeps interrupting your thoughts, writing is how you untangle the knots. You might find that what you were about to say aloud was more about you than anyone else. That behind the sarcasm was sadness. That beneath the defensiveness was a deep desire to be seen. Writing reveals what reaction hides. This retrograde gives you permission to reflect, not project. It's also a sacred time to return to old creative projects, the ones you shelved not because they were bad, but because the timing wasn't right. Leo governs artistry, performance, and the authentic voice of the inner child. When Mercury rewinds through this sign, it's not saying stop. It's saying refine. This isn't the time to launch something new impulsively. It's time to go back, polish, edit, reconsider. Give your creativity a second wind. If you're a speaker, a writer, a performer, listen to how your voice has evolved. What felt bold last season might feel loud now. What once felt vulnerable might now feel brave. Now let's talk about how this energy plays out astrologically depending on your sign. If you're a Leo sun or rising, this retrograde is hitting home. It's turning a spotlight inward. You might feel like people don't get you right now, or like your voice feels louder in your head than in the world. But this isn't rejection, it's realignment. You're being invited to reclaim the most honest version of yourself. Not the polished one. Not the version that always has the right comeback. But the version that speaks from the heart, even when it trembles. This retrograde is your chance to tune into your inner authority, your true roar. Fixed signs, Taurus, Scorpio, Aquarius, this one's tricky for you too. This retrograde forms a tense square to your energies. You may find yourself resisting changes in communication or reacting more stubbornly than usual. Old wounds might resurface in the form of unexpected feedback or relational friction. The key for you? Flexibility. Not every disagreement is an attack. Not every silence is rejection. Sometimes, things fall silent so the truth can echo through. The universe is asking you to soften, not to give in, but to listen more deeply to what's not being said. If you have Mercury in Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius in your birth chart, your thoughts might feel like wildfire, racing ahead of you, too fast to process. Mental energy may be intense, creative, even inspired, but also impulsive and reactionary. If that's you, grounding is essential. Go for a walk. Journal before speaking. Practice mindful breathing. Turn off notifications. Slow your pace. This isn't about muting your fire, it's about guiding it into form. You don't need to burn the village to prove you're warm. And underneath all of this chaos, there's a spiritual invitation. Mercury retrograde in Leo isn't just about communication breakdowns. It's about identity. It asks, is your voice aligned with your truth? Or are you still performing for approval you no longer need? Leo energy thrives on authenticity. But when masked by insecurity or ego, it can distort expression into showmanship. This retrograde clears the stage. It strips away the applause and asks, what's left when no one's watching? That's your real voice. And it's more powerful than you think. Use this time to review your patterns. When do you feel most reactive? What kinds of comments trigger you? What situations cause you to raise your volume or shut down completely? These are the breadcrumbs that lead you back to your inner clarity. Instead of reopening old conversations, revisit them internally. Not to rehash, but to extract wisdom. To notice what parts of you still need compassion, still need space, still need to be heard by you. Mercury retrograde is therapy for your mind when you're willing to meet it with honesty. Let this be your mantra now. If it's not from the truth, I won't say it. If it's not from peace, I'll wait. Your words are spells. They build futures or burn bridges. Leo's fire makes them shine. But Mercury retrograde tests whether that shine comes from the soul or just the spotlight. Speak with intention or don't speak at all. If July 18th feels like a boiling point, if conversations are turning into arguments, if your words are looping back at you with unexpected consequences, know that you're in the fire not to be consumed, but to be refined. You're being sculpted into someone who no longer reacts, someone who responds with a soul. Let the tension sharpen your clarity. Let the silence amplify your truth. Let this retrograde teach you what authenticity sounds like when ego steps aside. That is the gold within the chaos. Mercury may be moving backward, but you are moving inward. And from that sacred place, your voice will return stronger, softer, and more aligned than ever. Not louder, not more perfect, just real.